Okay, so we are going to go over the booklet. Now, two things to note before we get started. One, don't be intimidated by this. This is not something that you need to do everything in the booklet. It is, think of it, somebody described this to me the other day and they're like, oh, it's like a tour. We get to pick what we want to do. And I was like, yes, exactly. What you want to do, what God puts on your heart to do, however you feel called. So on the other side of that, this is going to look different for everyone. And the key is not to compare what you feel called to do compared to what anyone else is doing. For two reasons. One, it takes the intentionality and the call that you have on your heart to do a 90-day program and to pray for people, because you're always going to constantly be like, oh, but she's doing that too, I should do it, and then you're going to overwhelm yourself. Do what you feel called to do and be intentional about what that is that got put on your heart. And then two, because you're able to focus on the intentions that you feel called to do and have committed to, you're able to fully support and love everyone around you who's doing the program, your family. So yes, no comparing. It's very hard as women to not compare ourselves to everyone else around us, but it's very important to not compare with this, because we are each on our own journey with God, and our relationship with God looks very different from the next person. So will what you are called to do. Okay, so let's just dive right in. Let us go to page 5. I'm going to go over the disciplines, and then I'll kind of share everything else in the booklet. Now, like I said, you're not going to do everything in this booklet. Kind of look over and pray over everything. The one aspect, so the disciplines are split into 3 different groups: lifestyle, physical, and spiritual. And lifestyle is the main one, where I would recommend that holding to those disciplines is going to best help you accomplish everything else. And this is why. Because every one of these disciplines takes something out of your life, so it kind of gives you more time to focus and takes the distraction out of your life, if that makes sense. So, practice of no gossiping and complaining. It's very unique to us women. Men do not do this in Exodus 90. I did not know that, but it's unique to women. Limited TV and movies. Limit secular music, podcasts, and media. And this is pertinent to everyone, and different for everyone. Like, if you're listening to podcasts and they're helping you grow as a person, you know what's good for you, and what your goals are. No phone use after 9 p.m., no social media, and then no unnecessary purchases. This means that you can purchase necessary purchases, like a storm door for the front of your house. Somebody asked me that the other day. I was like, yes, please keep your house warm. So just keep that in mind. No unnecessary purchases means I'm not purchasing random products on Amazon or the internet when I'm just scrolling through. Physical disciplines, fasting. That is going to look different for everyone. The key here is to know your limitations and to know what's best for your body. Some people might need to eat 3 meals a day, every day. That is beautiful, and that is okay. They're going to just give up something else. So if that's the case, think about what else you can give up and sacrifice. Getting up at the first alarm every day. Exercising 3 to 5 times a week. This is also going to look very different for everyone. So kind of know what you are able to do and what you want to push yourself to do. We are entering into the darkest months of the year, so a lot of it is probably going to be inside. Spiritual disciplines. Now this is where I tell people really pick 2 or 3 and be intentional about doing those the 90 days. If you add in others here and there, perfect. That's fine. If you don't, that's okay too. But just be intentional and try not to overwhelm yourself. And each day is not going to be perfect. So, spiritual adoption is praying for a specific person throughout the 90 days. That can look different for everyone. You can pick one person for the full 90 days. You can pick one person a week, which is 13 weeks, so 13 people. One person a month, which is 3 months, 3 people. Now, I have the special intention of the priests for all of FIAT. You can pick other intentions besides the intention for the priests. Like I said, the prayer for the priest is in the front, so I'm just asking everyone to pray for the priest once a day there. And like I said, you can put your parish priest or priest names that you want to pray for up there for those 90 days, so you can add a name to those. You can pray for priests throughout as well. Pick one priest a month or a week or the full 90 days, however you like. They can also be family members or people in your life. And I have included a 13-week program here, so you can input the name that you're praying for here, and you can include the days here of like when you went to confession, daily mass, so you can kind of look back and see, oh, I went to confession then. One of the other spiritual disciplines, and this is kind of a 2-parter, is it is traditionally done to do the 54-day rosary novena, the first 54 days, then followed up by the Marian consecration. Now, the Marian consecration, if you've done it recently, you can renew it again. I've done it multiple times. Or you can do the St. Joseph novena, the St. Joseph consecration, or there's the Sacred Heart consecration by Father Michael Gately, I think. There's quite a few that you can pick from. So if you've already done the Marian consecration, you have options. For the 54-day rosary novena, the prayers are in the book, and they start on page 13 and go through page 16. So there's the 4 mysteries. I will note, somebody pointed this out to me. Somebody asked, where do I do the Apostles' Creed, Our Father, 3 Hail Marys? For some reason, it got deleted out of this format, but it would be after the 1 Hail Mary, and then after either whatever 27-day prayer you're doing, it would be after that, but before the first joyful mystery, like normal. Sorry about that confusion. And then you can put into your weekly format as well what mystery you're going to do each day if you like. So you can check it off. And there's also a check off of the full 54-day novena and the 33-day Marian consecration that you can check yourself off as you go through as well. Other spiritual disciplines include spiritual reading, scripture reading. There are gospel reading for the 90 days option here. There's the Woman in Scripture readings option here. Pick one if that's what you're feeling called to do. Individual prayers on the front, in the front cover are the individual prayers, so you can do that. The prayer for healing, the prayer for priests, and then I did put a prayer for deliverance here. Some people get scared when I say that. Prayer for deliverance is really for ourselves, to protect ourselves, often from ourselves. So it's really just to keep ourselves in check throughout these 90 days. You can add other intentional prayers that you feel called to do. And then there's daily mass here. So I say, if you want to add daily mass into your schedule, 1 to 2 times a week. It's not every day. If it works in your schedule for every day, awesome. But I'm generally meaning If you can add it once during the week, outside of the weekend mass, beautiful. So whatever works for your schedule. Confession, attempt bi-monthly or monthly. As you go through the program, you'll notice that a lot of things are going to come to the forefront. Our weaknesses show up real quick. So it just feels, for me, it feels just so much better being able to go to confession 2 to 3 times throughout the 90 days. Sometimes I will try every 2 to 3 weeks, depending on how I'm feeling. So that goes over the spiritual disciplines. Like I said, if you're gonna pick to do the 54-day Rosary Novena and the Marian Consecration, that's gonna add quite a bit of time to your everyday life. So I would just pick 1 to 2 other disciplines, like intentional prayer to do every day, or scripture reading, because it's gonna, the 54-day Rosary Novena and the 33 days Morning Glory or Marian Consecration is gonna be, it's gonna add probably a half hour to your daily life, sometimes 45 minutes. So just keep that in mind. And then the last thing I will note in the back, the daily anchor starters, the daily anchor conversation starters. And then there's recommended items needed for those who are doing Fiat for the first time. You can check there to make sure you have everything. The act of contrition is over here. So when you do go to confession, it's right there that you can use. And then there's a daily examen that you have the option to do every night before you go to bed or at the end of the day. So I hope that makes sense. Again, if you have any questions, please email me. Be happy to talk to you. And I hope you guys have a great day.